Potato. So 2019 I thought was a so-so year for films. Regarding performances, man, John Travolta, you just keep tumbling down that hill, don't you? That's 2 years in a row now. Last year it was Gotti, and this year you starred in that horrible film, The Fanatic, that was written and directed by Fred Durst. Yes, that Fred Durst. I mean, while I could easily declare this as the number one worst movie of 2019, I can't. Because it's not like the bar was set very high with this film and a lot of cash wasn't sank into it to begin with, which I do feel like is a factor that should be weighed into this decision. Now, Gemini Man, this movie is the worst movie of 2019, not just because of its story. This tired story of a retiring government assassin who is being hunted by his own government, with the twist being he's being hunted by a cloned younger version of himself, is just painfully average. A lot worse than this came around in 2019 in terms of actual plot. But I consider it the worst because while movie opinions are subjective, and we all have different opinions on what makes a film good or not, I think we can all agree nobody likes a liar. And the advertising for this movie actually tried to trick people into seeing it. This was the movie equivalent of thinking you're going to ride in a gorgeous sports car, but instead you're riding in something like a 1990 Honda Civic. Let me explain. Before its release, I saw so many promotional videos and articles highlighting how this film is directed by Ang Lee, and will be displayed in amazing 3D with the action really sticking out due to being filmed at 120 frames per second, as opposed to a standard 24 frames per second movie. Not to mention state-of-the-art, awesome de-aging technology, which is, all the rage these days. That's the hot sports car selling point. Now first, something isn't right about a film when promotion for it is talking less about how great the story is and more about what went into actually making it. So red flag right there. Aside from the story just not being compelling enough to want to fork over extra money to see it in 3D, it turns out you probably wouldn't be getting the full benefit of this state-of-the-art experience anyway. Because as confirmed by Polygon, only 14 US theaters were capable of displaying this movie the way it's meant to be fully experienced. Well, there's your Honda Civic right there. It's one thing to greenlight a film that's a complete stinker.
Oh, it smells like a used diaper filled with Indian food.
It's another to completely mislead moviegoers when the technology you're bragging about can't even be fully experienced by the majority of audiences. So there really wasn't much of a point in developing it this way anyway, other than to maybe flex some studio muscle to showcase what you're capable of, which doesn't mean a lot when the movie lost somewhere around $75 million. Good job, guys. That's a really stupid price to pay just to try to look cool. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. I would also really appreciate your support. Please subscribe, and I'll be back next week. Thanks.